This is my burden to bear.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe has spent 5 years introducing diverging timelines and infinite variants. Each of these branches adds new physical mass to the multiversal structure, expanding the cosmic bubble until it begins to strain against its neighbors. Eventually, this constant expansion reaches a critical limit where the multiverse runs out of literal, physical volume to store its own history. When physical capacity is reached, the multiverse triggers a catastrophic failure called an incursion, a collision where two parallel Earths are violently forced to occupy the exact same physical coordinates. If this collision completes, the resulting explosion erases both realities. Nothing remains of either timeline. On December 18, 2026, Avengers Doomsday brings this exact apocalyptic threat to the big screen. The film explicitly adapts Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out comic arc, of citing to save every life, and which must be destroyed to stop the chain reaction. To capture a threat of this scale, Marvel is deploying a structural emergency protocol. They are pulling from completely separate, real-world cinematic franchise. Conflict hinges on groups of heroes from 3 distinct realities hurtling toward collision. At the center is the mainline MCU universe, designated Earth 616. This faction features the familiar core, including Chris Hemsworth's Thor. It also features a massive return to the fold, Chris Evans, stepping back into the role of Steve Rogers to lead his old team. Approaching them on a direct collision path is the second major reality, Earth 828. This universe belongs to the Fantastic Four. This team brings Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards and Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm to the negotiating table, fighting desperately to preserve their own timeline. Then, a third timeline enters the fray, populated by the original characters from the 20th Century Fox X-Men films. This roster includes heavyweights from a completely different cinematic era, specifically confirming the return of Ian McKellen's Magneto and Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier. Deploying an incursion as the central plot device serves a very specific mechanical purpose. It takes a standard superhero team-up and turns it into a literal, physical collision of 3 massive, previously isolated movie properties. Waiting at the exact point of impact for all 3 of these universes is a single existential threat, Doctor Doom. To maximize the psychological weight of this villain, Marvel cast Robert Downey Jr. The man who served as the beloved anchor for the entire MCU is now the gravitational center of its destruction. In Jonathan Hickman's original comic, Doom seeks his own method of ending incursions. Meanwhile, heroic groups like the Illuminati and the Avengers are pitted against one another, forced into desperate, morally gray decisions to protect their respective Earths. Directors Joe and Anthony Russo are translating that specific, mature framework to the screen. The stakes here are intensely personal. Reed Richards and Sue Storm have to protect their son Franklin, and Thor is fighting for his daughter. Centering Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom within this mature framework creates a narrative of total moral compromise. The survival of one universe requires the extinction of another, leaving every hero in the ensemble facing an unavoidable, life-altering choice. Infinity War asked if the Avengers could stop a villain from altering the universe, but Doomsday operates on a harsher premise. Here, the universe is inherently broken, and it is actively collapsing. The first official trailer highlights this exact tension, with Doom delivering a specific, ominous warning. Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision. That decision revolves around sacrifice. Characters like Captain America, who have historically operated under a strict rule that they don't trade lives, will be put in a position where they have to actively choose which planets survive and which are destroyed. With those stakes established, Avengers Doomsday is positioned as the violent, apocalyptic conclusion to the entirety of the Multiverse Saga. Whatever choices these factions make, and whoever is sacrificed in the effort to stop Doctor Doom, will directly lay the narrative foundation for the follow-up film, Secret Wars, in 2027. This collision of franchises and timelines is a structural endgame. By forcing every legacy character and alternate universe into a single point of failure, Marvel creates a narrative bottleneck where only one reality can emerge. Destroying these existing timelines effectively removes the current continuity, allowing the studio to use the fallout of Secret Wars as a mechanical reset for everything.